I've spent a lot of time around extremely materialistic women. Women always dripped in diamonds, gold, owning tons of Birkins, Kellys, and a lot of other luxury bags. And the sad part is, a lot of these women are not elegant. Yes, they have money. Yes, they have brands. They have everything that you're told to want as a woman. And yet, they have zero grace. And then I've also met women, sometimes younger, sometimes poorer. They don't have money, they're just starting out in life, maybe they're in their early 20s or even younger, who walk into a room and then the whole room readjusts. You can't tell what they have, what they earn, or where they live, but you can just tell there's something in their energy that's just so commanding, that's so compelling, that makes you wonder, who is she? And that's the thing that nobody is telling you. Especially if you're a woman in your 20s who's wanting to learn how to navigate through life with utter class and elegance. Elegance is not about money, and money will never be able to buy it. It is something else entirely. It's a way of moving through the world. It's your overall presence, your aura. And most women, they never figure it out because they keep trying to buy it instead of becoming it. So today, I'm going to give you 10 things. Not vibes or aesthetics, but actual practices. The ones that I personally live by, and the ones I've watched separate the women who have presence from the women who just own things. Let's start. Number 1, you have to move through the world slowly. This is the first thing, and this is the one that nobody seems to talk about. Elegant women do not rush. They don't speed walk. They don't talk fast. They definitely don't eat fast and drink fast. They move through the world like they have nowhere else to be. Because they don't. They're already where they belong. So they move always with intention, with ease. Because the second that a woman speeds up, then she's signaling something else entirely. That she's anxious. That she is available. That she is behind. A woman who moves slowly, on the other hand, is saying the opposite. That she doesn't have to prove anything and she doesn't have to catch up. That the world must wait for her. This is something that you can practice starting today. When you walk, walk slower than usual. Slow down when you talk. Pause before you answer a question. Eat slowly. Chew slowly. Take a full second before you reach for your drink. Maybe it will feel uncomfortable at first because maybe you're not used to it. But that's okay as long as you start doing it now, because it won't take long and you'll be used to it. Because what slow signals is that you are powerful, because you are setting the pace. Fast signals fear. Obviously, femininity is power, not fear. Number 2, grooming over outfit. Always. I'm going to lose some of you on this one, but I don't care. A woman in a $40 dress with clean hair, clean nails, soft skin, clean teeth looks more elegant than a woman in a $4,000 dress but with chipped nails, obviously ungroomed hair, and dry skin. Because money can never save you from poor grooming. And grooming is the cheapest, most accessible form of elegance that there is. I'm talking about clean hair, clean nails, moisturized skin, fresh breath, clean shoes, or ironed clothes. These are not luxuries. These are baseline. And as a matter of fact, they will outclass a Louis Vuitton bag every time. I don't care what brand you're wearing. If your heels are scuffed and your hair is greasy, then you are not elegant. You're just loud. So invest in grooming before you invest in anything else. It is the best return on investment you will ever make. Number 3 is to have one focal piece and never more than one. Elegant women do not stack their entire jewelry box on one outfit. They pick one. A gold chain, or a watch, or a few rings, or a really beautiful handbag. That's the whole outfit's punctuation. Everything else is quiet. When a woman walks into a room with logo earrings, a logo bag, logo belt, logo shoes, and a logo phone case, that's not elegance. That's already a billboard. You're like advertising all these brands. And instead of you wearing your outfit, no, these brands are wearing you. And trust me, I was doing the same before. So I had to learn this the hard way. Because I've seen truly elegant women that inspired me. And the most elegant women I've ever met, they wear almost nothing visible. Of course, it always depends on the occasion, but I'm talking about the everyday life. So on a daily basis, maybe they wear their favorite watch, a small necklace, or a delicate gold piece, then a beautiful outfit. Then the rest is invisible. They focus on quality over visibility. They have one focal piece and they let it speak. Number 4, and this one is probably unexpected to some of you. Your vocabulary is your face. And I'm very serious about this one. I don't care how beautiful you are, because the second that you open your mouth and the wrong words come out, then you've lost it. Because elegant women speak with precision. They use beautiful words. They don't say literally every 5 seconds. They don't say words such as I'm dead, no cap, girly, all these TikTok slangs. And most importantly, they don't text like a 15-year-old. And I'm not saying don't curse, because cursing with precision and based on the situation can be a power move. All I'm saying is that you need to expand your vocabulary. Learn to convey what you actually mean with beauty. Because the way that you speak, the way you communicate your thoughts to someone, it shows them how your mind actually works. And intelligence is always elegant. So if your vocabulary is very shallow, if you're someone who always speaks in slang, then it only shows them that you are shallow perhaps. So you have to speak in a way that you want to be remembered, or in a way that you want to be quoted by someone. It costs nothing, especially with all the information available online now, but it changes a lot of things. So this is all connected to number 5. And number 5 is to read. To read real books. Because a woman who reads is the most dangerous woman in every room. Because she has references. She has language. She has depth. She has a particular perspective that most people will never have because they've outsourced their thinking to short-form videos. I've always been a bookworm, ever since I was a teenager. I've read Murakami, one of my favorites. I've read Dostoevsky, Kafka, Salinger, Hemingway, Carl Jung, Joe Dispenza, Sylvia Plath, Shakespeare. I've read all this literature. And these are real books. Books that take time to read. Books that somehow makes you think, what did he mean by that? I don't understand. But that's important because it makes you think and it changes the way you see things. It brings you a whole different perspective. Self-help books are also fine, but that cannot be your entire reading list. If all you know is Atomic Habits and a few manifestation books, then you're still being marketed to. But real literature teaches you how humans actually work. An elegant woman has thoughts that are not borrowed. And you only get original thoughts by reading widely. There is no shortcut to this. Because that's only when you start to think about actual philosophies. And you start to ponder. And you start to come to a conclusion based on your own thinking. That's why reading makes you smart, especially if it's actual literature. Start by reading one book a month. That's easy. Just start there. Number 6, taste is built and not bought. This is where my main point about wealthy women comes back. You cannot buy taste. You can only develop it. And the only way to develop it is by exposing yourself to things that refine you. I'm talking about classical music, art or art galleries, museums, opera, architecture, or maybe even ballet, old films, actual cinema, real cinema, like old movies and not this new Netflix stuff. And by traveling, actually traveling, not just going to resorts, but actually traveling the world, seeing the world through different lenses. By eating food that took someone 40 years or plus to perfect the recipe. By drinking wine that someone wrote a book about. Because when you expose yourself to beautiful things, your nervous system recalibrates. You start to recognize quality. You start to feel mediocrity in your body. And once you can feel it, that mediocrity that you don't want to settle for anymore, then you start to stop tolerating it. In your clothes, in your home, in your food quality, in your relationships, in the places you go to, in the media that you consume, in everything. Because the fact is, most women have terrible taste because they consume terrible content. And then they wonder why their lives feel cheap. You are what you consume. So you have to raise your inputs if you want your outputs to improve. And number 7 is again very much related to number 6. What you eat shows up in your face. Your diet is always showing up in how you physically look. And before someone gets offended, I'm not telling you to be super skinny. I'm just telling you to be particular about what you eat. Because an elegant woman is always conscious in what she puts inside her body. She's not obsessed nor anorexic. She's just very particular. Again, as I said earlier, it's all about the quality. And in this topic, I'm talking about the quality of the food that you eat every day. Because an elegant woman is not gonna eat fast food at 1 a.m. She's not drinking soda. To be honest with you guys, I don't drink soda. And I haven't drunk soda in almost 7 years. And there are 2 reasons for this. First, a healthy body directly translates into confidence. You walk differently, you sit differently, and you move differently when you are happy in your own skin. And no amount of designer clothing can fix a body that you don't feel comfortable in. Second, what you eat refines your taste. Women who eat junk have junk taste. They cannot tell the difference between a good meal and a bad one. And that flattening of that senses bleeds into every decision that they make. So you have to eat like a woman who has standards, and then you will become one. Number 8, and again, I'm reiterating something that I've said all throughout this video. You become what you consume. So you have to consume what you want to become. Because what you watch is shaping you, what you read is shaping you, and who you follow is shaping you. The music you put in your car, the podcasts or the videos that you watch while you're getting ready to go to work, the accounts you scroll for 3 hours before bed. Every single one of those inputs is writing itself into your nervous system. And most women are consuming garbage. Drama TikToks, so messy and so chaotic reality shows, influencers whose only message is to hate the man, hate the rich, hate your life, feel like a victim, and then they wonder why they feel cheap, why they feel anxious, why nothing that they want is showing up in their lives. Because darling, you are a sponge. Your subconscious does not filter. So whatever you put in front of your eyes for hours every day then you become that. So start by auditing your newsfeed, your Instagram feed, your TikTok feed. Block the accounts that make you feel like less. Follow the accounts of the women who are already living the life that you want. Watch documentaries on women who built empires. Read the writers whose lives you want to inherit. Listen to the conversations that stretch your thinking. And number 9 is to don't gossip. I'm not saying this for moral reasons, not so you can be a goody two-shoes or you can be a good person. I'm saying it because it's strategy. Because every woman who gossips with you about other women, that woman will also gossip about you. Because she is showing you what she does in the name of her friends. And you are also her friend now. That's just logic. Elegant women always have better things to discuss. They talk about ideas. They talk about their travels. They talk about their aspirations. They talk about what they like and what they don't like. The moment that the conversation moves into, hey, did you hear about this girl? Whatever. Then they redirect and they don't engage. Elegant women refuse to participate in the cheapest form of female interaction. Your name is what you have, and the women that you spend time with are deciding the value of it, whether you like it or not. And number 10 is have a signature scent. So this is one of my favorite perfumes. I like going with one scent. I like mixing scents. I go with different scents based on the mood, based on what I'll be doing. And sometimes people think, oh, she's just being excessive. But this is very important. And this is often overlooked because scent is the most intimate thing about a woman. And it stays in the room even after you leave. Your scent lingers. People may forget what you wore, the things that you said, but I'm pretty sure they will never forget how you smelled like. So you have to invest in perfume. Real perfume. Not some body mist or body spray from maybe Victoria's Secret or Bath and Body Works or something from the mall that you've never seen before. You have to invest in real fragrance with depth, with notes, with sillage that lingers. Learn what your skin does to it. Learn what time of the day suits each scent. Learn the difference between an eau de toilette and a parfum. Because it matters. And never, ever smell cheap. You can wear a cheap outfit, maybe a $20 outfit, whatever, but you still have to smell expensive. Because the second that a woman smells synthetic, sugary, fruity, too sweet, then she's lost the room. You're automatically branded as cheap. Your scent is your signature, so you have to choose it like you're choosing a name. So that's 10. You'll notice that none of them requires tens of thousands of dollars. And none of them requires a specific brand. Because as I said, elegance is never about money. It was always about taste, discipline, restraint, and what you refuse. Money can buy you anything. It can buy you the dress, the car, the handbags, but it can never buy you your aura. And here's the part I'm not going to leave out. Everything I told you, that's just a surface. It's what people see. It's the part that you can copy. But the women I'm describing, the ones who walk into a room and the whole room readjusts, they're not running 10 tips. They're running a whole identity. They live by a different script entirely. And they know how to turn that identity into money. And that's the part nobody teaches. So I actually wrote 2 books on it. Escape the Matrix is one of my ebooks. It's for the woman who knows that she's not meant for the typical default life. It's about how to build a life of actual freedom. And of course, this includes living a soft life. And I also have the Hot Girl Sales Playbook, which I'm going to publish physically soon. It's for the woman who's beautiful, magnetic, good with people, and is tired of being broke. It's how to read a man, Read a room and read a client, and use this to your advantage. Both books are linked below, so you'll find them in my description box. You know what they say? Watch a YouTube video and you'll be inspired for an afternoon, but if you read a book, you'll be inspired for your whole life. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for staying till the end. I'm Allaia, and I'll see you guys on the next one.